Hello there. Well, long time no speak. Been rather busy, but here we go. About to tell you about this stuff that happened in Saudi with Fury and Ngannou. First of all, what a terrible, awful fight it really was. It was one of the worst. Well, it was just terrible. All right, simple as that. Now, as regards people going on and on and on about Ngannou winning a robbery and all that sort of stuff, no. Even though it was a terrible fight and Ngannou did better than everybody thought, he lost, all right? Fury won the first 2 rounds, piece of cake, even though it was awful. Obviously, the 3rd round with a knockdown, that makes it level going into round 4. And I would say that, you know, of the 7 left, Fury won 5 at least, really. Usyk scored it 7-3 for Fury. I had it 6-4, but who am I to argue with Usyk? So there you go. Now it's all about levels, really, isn't it? Now, in my humble opinion, Ngannou really brought Fury down to his level. I've never seen Fury that bad. Now, a couple of things. Either Fury is finished at top level, or it was a very, very bad day at the office, or a bit of both. And he seemed to run out of ideas and didn't really seem all that interested almost, and looked a little bit like he wasn't sure what to do. Ngannou really didn't do much. You know, he had the knockdown, fair enough, all right? But he really didn't do much. He didn't do enough, for sure. And he was quite happy just to sit back, do nothing for a long, long periods of time, eat a few jabs, look out for a few feints and try and hit something on the way in or on the way out. And, you know, but neither of them just not busy enough. Now, whether that's fatigue, nerves, bit of both, everything, who knows? But they were certainly not busy enough. And all in all, it was a terrible fight, really. It really was. People kept going on about how Ngannou did well, did it? Yeah, I'm not taking any of that away. But in terms of actual levels, when it comes to world champion, blah, 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 it was terrible. You know? And I said straight away afterwards that basically all the winners on the undercard that night, all the knockout winners on the undercard, would probably have beaten both of them that night. That's the sort of level they were at. So let's look at a few pros and cons, shall we? So we'll go with Fury first. Pros, well, he won on a very bad night. That's it. That's the only pro I can think of throughout the whole of that performance. He won on a bad night. Cons. It was just awful. His punch resistance looked very shaky. His defense was almost non-existent. His footwork was slow and out of time, out of rhythm. He was pushing his punches. He was leaving his chins up. He was slow to get out. He was moving back in straight lines with his chins up. And he was looking a bit gassed in the last few rounds. And that's unusual for him. You know, he said he'd had a full, proper 12-week camp. I don't know what sort of 12-week camp he had. But it certainly wasn't, you know, the level of fitness and conditioning that we expect from Fury. So Ngannou, so I look at the pros on him. Well, he put up a good show, you know, and he's now somehow got a big name in boxing. We know why, because he went the distance with the champ, so to speak. But anyway, his footwork was much better than I thought it would be. Fair play to him. He kept his guard up high at the back. Much better than I thought it would. It dropped quite a lot, but he kept his guard up much better than anticipated, which made it easier for him to palm down, parry the lackluster jabs from Fury. He's enormous. He's strong as an ox. I'm not going to argue about the chin stuff because he didn't get it hard enough to warrant saying he's got a great chin. However, what I will say is that when he knocked out Stipe, just before he knocked him out, Stipe's moving backwards and hit him with a little right hand, short right hand. As he's moving backwards, And you'll see Ngannou wobble quite a bit before he throws the knockout punch. Yes, he got the knockout, but what I'm saying is that he was wobbled by Usyk moving backwards, throwing a short right hand. Wilder don't throw it like that. So what's next? Well, we already heard late last night my time that, and we could see after the fight, and it was probably decided by Fury, I reckon, before the fight, that December 23rd against Usyk is off. No surprise there. And they've got to fit in a new date, which will be during the Riyadh season, which leaves them up until end of March sort of time. Well, if you imagine Fury wants a 12-week camp, he wants several weeks to recover. He's talking about not doing anything now till Christmas. Have a good Christmas, he said in a message. So that means he's going to start his training camp January, which don't leave long, does it? It can't fit a 12-week camp in by the end of the Riyadh season. So expect the unexpected. Expect something will go wrong, something will happen, and I don't think the fight will happen. That's my view on it. He might retire or have an injury or something like that. And then Usyk will have to face Hrgovic as a mandatory, which Hearn will be pushing for like crazy. And Hearn will be pushing for AJ or Wild, whatever, against Ngannou, because there's a lot of money in it and it's an easy fight for him, which it is. I expect that to be an easy fight. And maybe the WBC, now they've ranked Ngannou in the top 10 somehow, maybe they'll arrange some kind of, #1 spot shootout between Wilder and Ngannou or something like that. But there you go. So that's what's next for Fury. I think he's going to maybe walk away. So Ngannou, what can he do next? Well, basically, he can do whatever he wants, because so many people on social media and all that lot think he won. He didn't. One, he didn't win if you watch the fight back. And two, the result shows he lost, no matter what you say. And it wasn't a robbery or anything like that. It was a competitive, horrible, low-level fight at best. So I would say to Ngannou, don't fight Wilder, whatever you do. You'll get decapitated within a few rounds for sure. AJ, I think you might last a bit longer, but even the old AJ, I think, would beat you in, before 5 or 6 rounds anyway, at the most. The new one might take a bit longer, but Ngannou is still, like I said, is still, no matter what people say, I'm going to stick to my guns on this one. He's still only sort of area title level in the UK. And he's nowhere near the top guys, no matter what happened in Saudi, no matter how terrible the performance was from Fury and how well Ngannou did. That's the true level of it. Johnny Fisher would bash him up straight away and he just won an area title. He would, So then it comes on to things like all the comparisons that have been made, in the past about Fury and how good he is. And I've always said he's good for now. And he will beat most of them now. Won't get anywhere near Usyk. I said from the beginning, Usyk will beat the best Fury, and maybe even knock him out late. The Fury on Saturday night, the Fury against Ngannou, will get massacred by Usyk. Massacred. He could do whatever he wanted to. So let's have a quick think about some of the greats, and then you can let me know what you think comparing Fury, as many have, to some of these greats. Ali, what would he have done on Saturday? Frazier, come on, what would he have done? Big George, young one and old one, what would he have done? Young one would have knocked either of them out in the first minute of the first round, and old one might have took a bit longer because, you know, he doesn't get steamed in as quick. I mean, come on. Larry Holmes. Can you see Larry Holmes getting dropped and taking the distance by a novice? No matter how big and strong he is, Larry Holmes would have took him out whenever he felt like it. Whenever he felt like it. He wouldn't have missed a jab. And he certainly wouldn't have got caught with a hook coming in, coming out, whatever. So, Holmes would have finished it whenever he felt like it. Anywhere from 1 to 2 or 3, whenever he felt like it. Mike Tyson, what would he have done to the pair of them? Prime Mike Tyson, destroyed him. Prime Lennox, he'd have done a Galata on him. Or a Grant. Or a Ruddock. He'd just smashed them to pieces. Lennox would have destroyed him. So was Shannon Briggs. Don't forget, he's got more first-round knockouts than anyone. He'd have knocked them both out first round, Shannon the Cannon. Let's go champ. He would. Holyfield, destroy him. Bo, destroy him. Razor Ruddock, destroy him. Ray Mercer, oof, flipping heck. Oh, it'd have been horrible what he'd have done to him. Galata, even Galata would have smashed him up. David Tour, been a highlight reel left hook knockouts, wouldn't it? Tommy Morrison, he'd have bashed them up. The Klitschko's, both of them would have bashed them both. You can't compare to those proper old guys. It's as simple as that. So that's my thoughts on it. Fury did win. It was an awful, ugly, terrible, horrible fight. If Fury fights Usyk next, Usyk wins. As long as Usyk's still all right, because he's getting older by the day, aren't we all? But prime Usyk, prime Fury, Usyk wins. Prime Usyk, that Fury, massacre. If Usyk has to face Ergovic next, he'll beat him easy enough. But I think that's the sort of thing that Fury's waiting for. He wants Usyk to get older, and have a few more tough fights and hope it gets easy enough. But it won't. Anyway, there you go. I've spoken enough. See you later. Bye.